All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the closing ceremonies for Bride of Cyclops Con. I'm Joseph Goodman, and I am tired. So I will allow everybody else to introduce themselves. Actually, we'll go in the order that it looks like on my screen here. So, hey, Harley, tell them who you are.
Hey, I'm Harley Stroh.
All right. Mark, you're next.
Mark Bruner.
Terry.
I still am Terry Olson.
Mike, what about you?
I am Manly Mike Curtis, coming to you live from the East Coast.
Hey, Jen.
Jen Brinkman here.
Chris.
Hey everybody, Chris Doyle here from the East Coast as well.
And that mysterious man in the bottom center box, or is he a man after all? Who is that?
Hungry. I am hungry.
All right, cool. And then we have Stefan. You're last.
Hi.
We were just joking. Stefan wins the prize for the coolest backdrop because he's actually got a flat file in the back, whereas the rest of it's just bookshelves. He makes cool art, unlike the rest of us. Anyway, thanks everybody for showing up. We're gonna, talk through a couple things at the closing ceremonies. This is really supposed to be kind of informal. It's the equivalent of a Gen Con when we would usually get busted by security for having too many people at the booth in the exhibit hall. And then I guess a year ago, we started going to our own room and having a conversation there. But we were saying we should have invited the Gen Con security guy into the Zoom to bust us. So who knows who will show up halfway through. Anyway, anything you guys want to throw in or add before we, get into the official agenda here?
Just thanks to everyone who came out to play and hang out in the social hallways and stuff. Insert poignant caption here.
Is that should I cry?
Not necessary. It's okay.
No, but I'll second that. It was great. There are so many smiling faces. We've gotten photos and screenshots and so on. And you guys send us screenshots if you haven't already. We'd love to include some of those in the yearbook and just on the website and so on. There are so many people having fun, which is great. That's what we all need this year.
Where should they send the screenshots?
Good question. info@goodman-games.com. Yeah. Or you can print them out and mail them to the Cyclops. I don't know what he'll do with them though. All right. Cyclops, how you feeling tonight? You look tired.
It's been a long weekend. Some of these gamers can really run. I'm wore out.
Yeah.
I think he needs. Yep, he needs some shut eye. Damn it, Mike beat me.
Shut eye.
It's gonna be that kind of night, huh?
It's gonna be that kind of night. It's been that kind of con. All right. So our agenda, we have a tournament announcements. We're going to talk about who won the tournaments, which will be awesome. We're going to talk about the Goodies, which is our annual. It's really a terrible name, but it's all we got. So I guess I should say, if anybody has a suggestion for a better name, let me know. It's basically a couple of years ago. It started as me trying to recognize some people with, kind of a acknowledgement and a little award and so on. And we never came up with anything better. So we need a better name for these awards. So open to suggestions here. But that said, we're going to do the Goodies for one more year until we get a better name. And then we're going to do the raffle, where I know the reason you guys are all really here is to try to win free stuff. If you don't know how to find your badge number, now's a good time to figure it out, because the raffle will run on badge numbers. Actually, Jen, you were explaining how people can find their badge numbers in Tabletop. Do you want to tell everybody?
If you go to Tabletop Events and click on your name on the upper right corner, it's going to show a list of conventions that you have signed up for. Across from Cyclops Con, it's going to say whether it's Premier Badge, Road Crew, or
Road Reaver.
Reaver, thank you, or just Player Badge for your name. Just click on that line, and it'll come up with a page that has your badge number right on top.
Cool. So we have some dice. We're going to randomly generate badge numbers later on, and I'll look them up as fast as I can in Tabletop. But you guys, if your number comes up and you know your number, that's a great way to announce it and win. All right. So why don't we? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jen.
Are we moving on if they're not present to collect their prize?
Oh, sorry. Good reminder. So some people are just going to be, not fast enough to respond or whatever. So if you can either respond in the chat or just email info@goodman-games.com by end of day tomorrow. So basically end of day Monday. We'll count that as being present because some people may not realize or stepped away from the chat or whatever. But yeah, as of end of day Monday, we will confirm all the winners, and all the people who didn't show up and claim it will feed that to the Cyclops or something. So
Before we go, instead of the goodies, next year we call them the night soils. Huh?
Whatever.
Everyone's a critic, Mike.
sometimes rightfully so, though.
Hey, it's not a crappy idea.
Uh,
Thank you.
Deep.
Instead of badges, we give out 5-pound bags.
Nobody's gonna want to win anymore.
Then security's really going to tell us to stop.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
5-pound bags that contain 10 pounds.
Exactly. That's it. Bags of night soil holding.
What a deal. All right. So let's start with our tournament announcement. So we had actually a couple tournaments running here at the con that went great. Harley's going to start by talking about the winners of his Slave Pits of Agartha tournament.
Yeah, so we ran the first battle royale, which ended up being 2 sessions. Each session had like between 16 and 20 players. They were hanging out in Zoom, playing the role of the slave lords, determining what the leviathans, the slave giants, the man bats, and the cannibals were going to do each round. And then and in at any one time there were 6 players actually on the board, responding to all that chaos. And as soon as somebody died, somebody else jumped in. And none of the game could have been possible without the heavy lifting of Jen Brinkman, who jumped in, was coordinating people. Like at one point we actually broke roll 20. We had a loot deck that we were dealing out items for, and then the loot deck vanished, and instead one player was dealt 54 like face cards. It was like roll 20 didn't know what to do with like all of us coming in, coming out. So Jen Brinkman, the game would not have been possible without you. Thank you.
You ran a tight ship and you ran it well.
Well,
It was very entertaining to watch.
Well, only because I was able to focus on what I do. So thank you so much, Jen. There was a spreadsheet involved somehow. I didn't even ask for a spreadsheet, and I got like 3 at the end. So.
Plus, everything was spelled correctly. It was amazing.
That's how you know it's not mine.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely Jen's work. All right. So anyhow, so of those, 34 odd players, when you count how many died, we're probably in the realm of like 50 people participating, 50 individual instances participating in the anyhow. All right. So brutally close in second place is Gavin Markey, master of the Wine Dark Seas, herald of fumbles, and bearer of the black tabard. Let's all give it up for Gavin Markey.
Good job, Gavin.
All right. And our first place champion, having survived from the very start of his event. So all through, he's scrambling up a ziggurat. Like leviathans are trying to eat him. There's giants. There's a warlock at the top. All this hell is going down. In the green tabard, the immortal Joe Silostro. So we'll be emailing everybody, getting their addresses, and mailing out their awards. So thank you guys all for playing and giving it a shot. I appreciate, you're making it happen.
Great job, Gavin. Great job, Joe. That's awesome. All right, cool. This is the most fun part of a con, actually, hearing the good news that comes out. That's great. So next we have Terry and Mark, who are going to talk about Return to the Starless Sea and the winners there.
Cool. So I'll start. I'll talk about the tournament a little bit, and then Mark will announce the winners. So Return to Sailors on the Starless Sea was a super duper fun experience. We wanted to have something that was accessible, completable, fun, memorable, and I think overall we succeeded. Players went from Sailors on the Starless Sea's future as a funnel in round 1 to its distant past in round 2, a level 1 adventure. They had all kinds of crazy things that happened. They got to fight a 4-armed 10-corpse vine whore. I'll say that again, 4 arms, 10 corpses. Giant vine whore. They got to pilot a wizard van. They got to crank some tunes.
Yes.
Some people shook out a shag rug and fondled a fluffy cube. Keep your minds clean on that one. But anyway, it was helpful. Some fed a leviathan many parties had an epic showdown with 2 Chaos Lords. Tim DeShane's table, especially round 2 when they hit the finals, the Leviathan messed them up pretty badly. And instead of fleeing backwards, they fled forwards, and they went from sort of the frying pan into the proverbial fire, where a ziggurat waited for them, tons of soldiers, Molan, Phelan, some Chaos Priests, and all kinds of pain. So they were down to 2 PCs pretty quickly. The Warrior challenged Phelan to a one-on-one duel, and the Wizard decided he was going to, I don't know if he was cheating or what he was doing, but anyway, he decided he was going to cast Magic Missile, and Molan immediately decided to spell duel him. And so they spell dueled, and the Wizard burned all this spell burn on this Magic Missile to take Molan down, and Tim DeShane on his spell check rolls a crit. And so so they had a phlogiston disturbance, right, in this spell duel. They went to a pocket dimension, so they both disappear. And now Tim's bouncing back and forth between the pocket dimension and what's going on in front of the ziggurat. Just an epic. I mean, one of the most memorable tournament games we've ever seen. It ended in a TPK, but it was a great TPK, right? It wasn't a tearjerker. It was an awesome TPK. But there were lots of stories like that, and we have some anecdotes coming in from the judges, and you'll probably read more about them in the future. Some other things that were fun is because they were in the past, some permanently altered themselves by inadvertently killing their ancestors. Grandfather Paradox be damned. So that was cool. In round 1, I'm certain we set records for luck burn. We had luck burns well over 100 points in round 1, which makes sense. You keep going through zeros and you just burn each one down. So we had huge amounts of luck burn, which was fun. And overall, as far as tournament adventures goes, this one was a lot more visceral and somewhat less cerebral than maybe the previous tournaments have been. So that was kind of a fun change, I think, for those of us writing it, those of us running it, and certainly for those people playing it. So along those lines, I'd like to start by thanking the judges. You know, no matter how good the written word is, the ultimate experience that boils down to the players is how the judges interpret and execute based on what's written. And all our judges were amazing. So I want to call out Mark Bruner, Eric Dahm, Mike Bolam, Haley Skatch, Tim DeShane, Harley Strode, Jim Skatch, Clay Lifford, James Posenel, and Stefan Flickinger. They all just rocked.
Nice work, everybody. Let's give them a round of applause. That's great.
Thank you, judges. Thank you. You know, the tournament is only as good as you are. It doesn't matter, you know, what the art looks like. It doesn't matter what how well the module's written, Oxford commas or not, right? I mean, everything really ultimately depends on the judges. I do want to call out the writer. So, you know, I would often sometimes get credited as this being my baby. And although I provided the outline to the writers, I couldn't have done it without these writers. So I want to call out specifically Mark Bruner, Tim DeShane, Thorin Thompson, Marzio Machetere, and also Mike Bolam. So they were my co-writers.
Great job, guys.
Yeah, nicely done. And they had to put up with my nasty requests and edits and my this doesn't work and why don't you try this, and you know, sometimes we go for 3 or 4 iterations doing things. So thank you to the writers. And also we had big plans for this tournament for Gen Con, and of course Gen Con didn't happen, and so we had to hustle to get things ready for running this virtually. And you know, you'll remember at Cyclops Con, or DCC Day, I guess it was, we had sort of a test drive of the Lankmar tournament to sort of work out the kinks on how things would go on Roll20, and then we had a few months to completely rehash this tournament for Roll20 and to make it run. And part of that was trying to decide on Roll20 what the art was going to be. And the current choice was my scribbling of the maps. And actually, our judges had to do play tests with Roll20 templates of those scribbles. And it was funny because I think Harley and Mark both got, very gentle offers for some judges like, hey, if you need some art, I might be able to help you with the maps and this and that. So we didn't want to inflict that on the players. So some of the artists came through very last minute to generate maps and custom tokens and all this stuff. So I want to call out Matt Hildebrand and Stefan Pogue and William McOslin and Brad Mcdevitt and Doug Kovacs for providing us some really amazing inspirational art. And actually, some of the coolest tokens weren't even seen in these rounds of the tournament. So if there's ever a return to the Starless Sea, maybe you'll see some of those tokens. But there are still some pieces of art that are yet undiscovered.
Well, we'll publish the module eventually, so everybody gets to see it eventually. Let's have a round of applause for the artists. Good job, everybody.
Yay, artists. And then last but not least, our sort of tournament emeritus, Harley Stroh, who has been spearheading the writing up until this one, and he was a bastion of support and always available for brain picks and opinions and things like that. So I want to specifically call out Harley and thank him for following us on this bumpy ride. Thank you, Harley.
Yeah, everything I know I learned from Chris Doyle, so that's where.
But enough of my yakking. Maybe Mark should announce the winners.
Before I do, just two quick shout outs is that both Harley and Terry, each of them stepped in and ran the tournament rounds in order to get more players into the tournament this year. So thank you guys so much on top of all your heavy loads. And Terry, you forgot to mention your role as eternal pit boss behind the scenes, helping judges. When issues happen, you were right there and ready to help and dive in with the right wisdom that was needed at the time. So with that, very exciting. We had an amazing set of games. It's always great to run the tournaments. This year it was going to be extra challenging because we had to go to virtual, but it actually worked out really well. It felt like a real tournament at a real con, with all the sleep deprivation and everything that goes along with it. So after 102 players, 20 games, and hundreds of lost, slain, and chummed gong farmers later, we have the final tournament results. In third place, Team Impending Doom, Frank Alonso, John Dow, Sam Kinnear, Gary McBride, and Jason Sturrell. And that had 30 points for their third place win. Second place, please applaud. This was the team that Terry was mentioning, had the epic spell duel with the Chaos Lord. Second place.
Came in third?
They came in third. 65 points. The Dump Stats. And that is Stephanie Bear, Jeff Bear, Dan Cook, Larry Green, and JM.
Well done, guys.
They were my team in the finals, and I can tell you they did a great job. And in first place, congratulations to our champions with 89 points, the Peon Knights.
I love that name.
Oh.
Imagine that's an ode to Brendan LaSalle. And that is Stephen Danielson, Andy Chandler, Landon Cade, Steve Dodge, and Travis Michael Rapp.
Wow.
Congratulations to the winners and all the players and all the judges. It was an amazing set of events, and there will be prizes that we're going to be giving out. So I'm going to be reaching out to those teams and getting the mailing addresses for folks so we can mail those out. And it was just really wonderful time. Congratulations again.
Yeah, good job, you guys. We will have medals for you as with prior tournaments. So you'll get gold, silver, or bronze medals in the mail. And then the winners' names will also go onto a plaque, which will go onto the Doom Gong once we can actually get to the Doom Gong again and start screwing plaques onto it. So whenever the Doom Gong reemerges at Gen Con, whatever year that might be, next year or the year after, your names will be on the Doom Gong to be immortalized forever. Good job. So I have one last comment on this and one last acknowledgement. For those of you who don't know, Goodman Games went all in for Gen Con 2020. Got the biggest booth we were ever going to get. Actually signed up for a pretty big sponsorship. We signed up for a gigantic banner over the escalators. We got dedicated space in the the arena, and we got a real head start on planning the tournament. So it must have been in like September. We had our first planning meeting last year, and we were ahead of the game, on track to run this tournament with the goal of having 1,000 players in person at Gen Con. And it was going to be one of the biggest tournaments we'd ever done. And we put a whole lot of time and effort and energy into planning this sucker out until around March or April or whatever that was that Gen Con got canceled. And it was like, whoa, everything's on ice. And then we had to figure out what to do with this. Like Terry was so far ahead of the schedule. The adventure was written by like
February.
Yeah, like it was already in playtest, and like it was, we were on track to do such an amazing tournament. Then we had to figure out how do we do it online, or first, what do we do? And then how do we do it online and so on. So first of all, kudos to this group for doing an amazing job of not only planning it, but pivoting at the right moment and then still making it work in an amazing way in a completely different venue in a way that none of us ever saw coming. I mean, it still went off without a hitch, which is amazing. But I also want to recognize John Hirschberger because he spent many years helping us make Gen Con happen. And I mean, obviously this year Gen Con did not happen, but he was heavily involved in the planning stage up until the point where that was evident. We got to the point where we were actually mapping out tables on the arena floor as to how we want the physical layout of the space to be so we could run flights of players through and accommodate all these people and so on. So anyway, John, great job. Obviously it didn't come to pass, but some year in the future it will, because we'll be back there at some point. But kudos to you guys too. Terry and Mark, you guys did an amazing job this year and everybody loved it. So great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the next bit is we had a really fun game show on Twitch called Stump the Game Wizards. That was Chris Doyle's brainchild. Chris, do you want to talk about the winner of that show?
Sure. Not really my brainchild. I can't take all the credit for that. I stole it from TSR back in the late 80s. They used to do it at Gen Con, but hey, it's sincere flattery when you steal it. So we had a fun time. We had a very active participation with the in the chat. I noticed that some of the names that are here tonight are some of the names in there. So you know who won. His real name, I believe, is Andy. I will not repeat his email address now. He already sent us his email address, but Andy, if that is your name, I've already sent you an email. So check your inbox. You got an email from me. Let me know what your address is. And as soon as I get your address, I will send you a box of goodies. So congratulations to winning the first one. It was really cool. We had to come up with an elimination style kind of final round, kind of at the last minute. So we did artwork and we showed old classic D&D module artwork, and we had people guess what modules they were from. So, but anyway, it was a good experience. We already been brainstorming some awesome ideas for I won't say next year, next time, whenever we do this again. So stay tuned for the next incarnation of a game show coming soon.
Cool. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed watching it, and I couldn't get them all right. Those are some good questions that the audience had.
Jen, what are the subjects of crawl 1 through 9? Do you have them now memorized?
We'll kick
Here
you.
she does.
And color of the covers. I think that came up.
Yes.
Yes. And the question about like, what's the third word on column 2 of page 157 of
That was Thorin.
Yeah, I know. There was some good stuff in there. There were some really good questions. Yeah. All right, cool. So it was fun. We should do that again sometime at the next con or whatever, because I think it was really entertaining. And I will say I'm impressed by the wealth of knowledge that the Goodman Games crew has. I mean, watching the seminars this week, not just that one, but even like the horror seminar, the sword and sorcery track, it is like an education. It's like you should get some sort of degree if you watch all the seminars, because the collective wisdom of this group is so impressive on so many subjects. So anyway, pat yourself in the back. You guys know a lot.
Yeah,
good job.
I think we got like 3 questions right.
Some know more than others, and some seminars were better than others. What can I say? All right, cool. So now we're going to go to the Goody Awards. I actually wanted to have the physical medals here to show you, but COVID happened. So they're still being manufactured, but there will be physical medals, and they will get mailed out in a couple weeks. And actually, thank you, Thorin. Thorin showing a picture of what they will look like. If you're in the road crew, it's basically the belt buckle, but then has a little loop attached. And then thank you, Jen. Jen has a physical sample of the belt buckle that she earned. So there's gold, silver, and bronze versions of these medals. And if you've been to Gen Con in the past, you've seen them before. So those will be shipped out in a couple of weeks once they're finally manufactured. But the goodies, originally originated to recognize some of the judges who run just a ton of events and really support us at Gen Con. And it's kind of evolved a little bit. I think I said last year when we closed out Gen Con that we now do a tournament or post convention survey every year that we send to all the attendees, and we just ask for commentary. So this year, it was possible to get good in the past by running a lot of bad games. Not that anybody did that, but it was all about quantity of games. So this year we have qualitative feedback. So we are actually going to give out some based on people's comments of gamers who actually gamed and how they appreciated the judges. There'll be quantity and quality here. And then I usually give out a couple too, just for people who have really supported either the community or, the game system or things like that. So we're going to cover a lot of ground here. So in no particular order, I want to talk first about bringing us all online. I mean, this year was a crazy year for so many reasons, but back in, was it March when we first started planning Cyclops Con? And, we had to stumble into this world of online gaming, which we had varying levels of knowledge ranging from, 0 to 1. Like it was a new frontier for everybody. And whether it was OBS or Twitch or Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds or Zoom or tabletop.events or anything, we had to very quickly figure out how to do all these things really quickly. And at each con, it's gotten better and better and better. And I think we're all, just leveled up from where we were. But I want to sort of recognize 3 people who were really important and integral in just getting us to where we are. So these folks will all get silver Goodie medals. First, I wanted to recognize Susan Murph, who has been behind the scenes, actually, frankly, front of scene, supporting all 3 online cons we ran. Yeah, she's done a terrific job, been, able to help everybody just get all their games sorted out, find their judges, submit their events, get their badge worked out, all this stuff. So Susan, thank you for doing a great job. Thank you for leveling up with the rest of us. This con was the smoothest of all. And we all know back in March, we were all just sort of trying to figure out what the heck we do here. So thank you for leveling us all up and bringing us all, so quickly and so efficiently into the online con space. I want to recognize Stephen Newton. So Stephen Newton has done a tremendous amount to get us all familiar with Zoom. He ran tutorials on running online games. For like weeks on end, he was just running random tutorials from people who asked for him for help. And he's done a lot of back-end work to just help support online gaming and getting us into this space we're in right now. So Stephen, thank you for taking the time out of your schedule and just helping people figure out how to do online gaming, because you helped a lot of people figure out a lot of things.
Dude has a thick skull.
So I hear. Yes. And then I also wanted to recognize Bruce Cunnington. So Bruce has been an immense support, again, from the tech support side, from his deep knowledge of OBS and Twitch. And many of you have probably seen him gaming with Brendan and some of Brendan's Twitch channels, but he also has just helped a tremendous amount with just lending his knowledge. And he's very knowledgeable about all things Twitch related, OBS, online gaming, etc. And was just always available to answer a question, help us figure out something, jump in a pinch, figure out whatever obscure software we needed to make the audio work. It's like one thing after another that he helped us figure out. So thank you, Bruce. And all 3 of you guys deserve a round of applause. So thanks, you guys. I also want to give out 2 honorable mentions. Last year, the first one goes to Brett Brooks. And many of you probably knew Brett already for his presence at the conventions. He was working the booth at a lot of the cons. You'd always see him at Gen Con and Origins and PAX and Dragon Con and so many others, MomoCon. And this year, obviously, all those cons disappeared. But behind the scenes at each of these online cons, Brett's been there, manning social media, getting the website up and running, helping to handle the events page, just a lot of stuff on this sort of back-end tech support. I already gave him a Goodie medal last year, so feels like I can't just keep giving him medals. But Brett, just want to once again say thank you and sort of acknowledge all the assistance you gave us. So thank you for that. And then an honorable mention also to Matt Hildebrandt. Matt does the graphic design and art direction for Goodman Games and has done an amazing job of corralling a lot of disparate personalities and getting them all to work well together, but then also making, yeah,
What?
I saw that, Stefan.
I don't agree with this at all.
Yeah, exactly. Making sure that, the artists are able to, bring the writer's vision and make it come alive without necessarily literally interpreting what the artist write, or sorry, what the writers write, because sometimes that cannot be physically illustrated. I'm just doing a great job of getting everybody into the same space of creative output visually, but then also behind the scenes, like constantly dealing with an endless stream of requests to make this Twitch graphic like that, or for this con we need this little thing and this banner like that. Just a lot of little pieces of graphics that need to go together to make it all work. And again, I already gave Matt a Goodie medal last year, so sorry, Matt, you can only get one. But still, I appreciate your help this year. It was immensely helpful in this new arena of getting us online. So that's it for the online gaming component of this. Now I want to recognize a couple other people. These are both Goodman Games employees, and I wanted to recognize them for something they've done that was extraordinary. The first is Jessica Mcdevitt. So Jessica handles a lot of our customer service. And if you email info@goodmangames.com or approach us in other ways, you will often encounter Jess. This award actually goes back to something that happened in 2019, about a year ago. And I was originally going to give her this at Gen Con, and it was a little more relevant at that time, and now it's all past. But some of you may have backed a Kickstarter called DCC Lankmar, and some of you, maybe 800 of you, maybe got a box with the wrong stuff in it. And there was a little bit of an issue around the shipping of that Kickstarter, and a little bit of a fulfillment company that kind of melted down and made a couple, maybe 800 boo-boos. And Jessica was new to the job at that time. I don't know, 6 months in, something like that, still learning the ropes, and managed to start at the all-time worst Kickstarter fulfillment debacle that Goodman Games has ever had. So we won't mention the name of that company, but they don't do our fulfillment anymore. For those of you wondering, it is no longer like that. But Jessica did an amazing job of dealing with tons and tons of angry customers. So sorry, guys, sorry. And just thank you for taking that bullet. But she did a great job of just working through all these issues and trying to, as much as possible, get the customers what they really should have, and work through all these complicated shipping lists and keeping people informed about when things are going to ship out, and just dealing with a barrage of stuff when she was still relatively new to the scene and trying to get her feet wet and learn the job. So Jess, great job digging us out of that pit of DCC Lankmar shipping. So good job.
Kevlar McDevitt.
Yeah. The other person I would have recognized is Keith Labaugh, and you guys, everybody knows Keith. He's been shipping Goodman Games products for 15 years, maybe or so, something like that. This started many, many years ago when Goodman Games was young, and this was like when the internet was coming online, and we're all learning about this whole like selling online thing. And I was like, I need somebody to ship this stuff. And Keith was like a friend of a friend. And he was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, it'd be like maybe, I don't know, 5 or 10, boxes a month, who knows? So we originally had this estimate of workload that I think was like 2 to 4 hours a month. Anyway, flash forward to recently, and Keith's entire house and most of his property is filled with essentially a mini warehouse of Goodman Games product. And it's just become insurmountable for one person to handle. And it's not even one person. He routinely pulls in his friends as like subcontractors. So this year, we actually, just a couple months ago, we officially transferred the shipping of Goodman Games online store from essentially Keith's bedroom to a professional warehousing company, which was, a long time coming, and took a fair amount of work and coordination among Keith and me and Brett and other people on the back end to get everything set up. But I just wanted to recognize Keith for doing an amazing job over all his time here of continuing to take care of customers, ship everything correctly, handle every issue that came along, and having the sort of interest in the genre, interest in the product, and just knowledge of everything Goodman Games to always get the customer, get it right every time, and always go the extra mile to try to get it right. So thank you, Keith, for all the great work you've done over the years. It was really deserves a gold medal, and you'll get a gold medal. So thank you. And for those who are wondering, Keith is still going to be here. He's actually, the good news is customers keep asking questions. So he's going to be working with Jess and some of the other team and setting up some more robust ways for us to help people track their orders, get follow-up answers to them, manage the Kickstarter shipping, no longer the physical shipping, but the actual collection of address lists and stuff like that and so on. So he'll still be here, just doing a slightly different thing. Now onto the Iron Judges. This is where we would recognize judges for the quantity of games that they ran. I have to say first, sorry, Brendan, but you're no longer eligible. Brendan actually won this every year and would continue to win this every year, because at Gen Con, he would show up and run like his 8 listed events, plus like 3 off hours events, plus one the day before with the Kentucky Fried Gamers, and like one more on Monday for good measure. And anyway, yeah, it's unfair to everybody else. So
he just hates the booth that much. That's really what it comes down to. It's like
that is part of it, I think. But Brendan would have won, so we'll call you like a gold emeritus or something, as just so other people get a chance to win. So with that, traditionally this would be given out for running events at Gen Con. However, this year there was no Gen Con, so what do we do? Instead, it's kind of a hybrid based on running a fair number of events at some of the online cons we've done. And again, the events here can vary, because we had seminars, we had games, we had different things. So I wanted to first recognize 2 bronze medals that go out to 2 people who collectively ran a significant number of events at recent cons. This is Bob Brinkman and Joan Troyer. So thank you, Bob, and thank you, Joan. Get bronze medals in the mail. Thanks for all the support and just running so many games. I want to give out 1 silver medal to somebody who ran 11 separate events between DCC Days Online and Cyclops Con. That is Julian Bernick. So thank you, Julian. Good job. Thank you for running so many games. And then I want to give out a gold medal to somebody who run a crazy number of events. It was not just games, not just seminars, Twitch as well, just insane. She's crazy. Jen Brinkman, gold medal for so many things that you ran at DCC Days Online, Cyclops Con. 13 is just crazy. So thank you for all the support. I want to also just give out an honorable mention. There are a lot of people who there's a ton of people who run a ton of games. All you judges, thank you. And the players, hopefully, thank you just as much because you do an amazing job. But I want to recognize Ed Stanek, Sean Smith, Yorkus Rex, and Matt Towle for also running a ton of games. So thank you guys. So now I want to talk about the qualitative aspect of running games. We started at Gen Con, I think it was last year, sending out a survey after the con to everybody who gave us their email address, just to get feedback on judges and how the con went and suggestions for improvement and so on. And we capped that up this year with Cyclops Con and DCC Days Online. And actually, if you're listening to this, you will get a survey in about a week. So please feel free to fill it out and send it back to us. And what you may not know is some of those questions actually informed who would get Goodie medals. So some of this is, there's questions like, would you play with this judge again on a scale of 1 to 10? How would you, evaluate this judge? Knowledge of the rules, how was their knowledge of the rules? Various things like that we've evaluated people on historically. And it was mostly just to get a sense of, it's feedback for the judge. If, this person's a lot of fun, but maybe the rules knowledge is, could be a little improved or whatever it might be. But we had a number of judges who just got outstanding results just consistently. So I wanted to recognize 3 people in particular who just had really good feedback from players. So for the bronze medal, I wanted to give it to a judge who, if you average this, the scale is 1 to 10. And if you average out their ratings, this judge got an average rating of 9.8 on all their customer feedback. And actually, I should say out the gate, some judges only ran 1 game. So I looked at this based on the how many customer interactions they had, as well as just the rating. So running 1 game with a high rating doesn't get you this. It's running a fair number of games and also getting a lot of good ratings. But this judge had an average rating of 9.8. So I want to recognize Matt Rayburn for a great job. So good job, Matt. Terrific job, and you deserve a bronze medal. We had another judge who had an average rating of 9.9 in customer feedback at Gen Con last year. So just close to perfect across the board. And that's Michael Bolam. So Michael, thank you. Great job. Then we had one judge, only one judge, who actually got perfect 10s, ran a ton of games, and got perfect 10s across the board. And that was Harley Stroh. So Harley, good job. You get the gold medal for judging, and you'll get one in the mail. Yeah, you can't hide. You're right there on the screen. I see you. Turn off your video. Good job. Good job, all you guys. Good job, Matt. Good job, Mike. Good job, Harley. So a couple more that I want to give out. I haven't really done community service awards in the past, but this year, more than any other year, community service really counted in a lot of ways, whether it's emotional or physical or just people helping out their neighbors. So I want to recognize some people for what I'm going to call community service. This was actually really hard because I asked some people for their recommendations, just in case there's somebody I'd missed or wanted to get feedback on who really supported the community. And there were so many good suggestions. So I'm actually going to read off a lot of honorable mentions because there's only so many medals I can give out. And it's just, there's a lot of people who did a lot of great things that deserve to be recognized. But I want to start with recognizing Jim Sketch for his, in general, just support of the entire community. But then specifically for last year at Gen Con, he created maps to support the Greatest Thieves in Linkmar tournament. They were also used digitally at DCC Days Online, and they were a huge help. And he's done 1,000 other things. So thank you, Jim. Good job. I want to recognize what I'll call the Gong Farmers Almanac community, but specifically this year, Clayton Williams and Shiloh Wildman for just doing a great job of leading the Gong Farmers into the future, whatever that means. So good job, guys, for continuing forward this. I mean, it's just a really cool thing that it's just so cool that it exists, a creative community focused strictly on creative output. It's just a really cool idea, and I'm glad you guys kept it going. And in recognizing them, I should acknowledge the fact that I haven't recognized the 7 or 8 years worth of GFA leaders who have come before them. So I want to call out a couple names here. John Hirschberger, Mark Bruner, Jim Sketch, and many others, and all the people I forgot, but just the GFA community in general deserves a lot of recognition. And the leaders, the volunteer leaders who do all that work to produce those wonderful volumes deserve a lot of recognition. So good job, guys. I want to recognize somebody who I don't know personally, but I was told about this feat and it's impressive. Ari Matti Pippo, who ran a 24-hour gaming event in May in Finland and ran every game himself for 24 hours, which is crazy. So if that was a Gen Con dude, you would definitely get an Iron Judge Award, but thank you very much. That's impressive. I want to recognize someone new in the road crew who gets this award, recommended by multiple people for raw enthusiasm. But Eric Young, thank you for just the sheer enthusiasm and love of the game. Great job. I want to recognize somebody who, when online gaming became a thing because we were all locked in our homes with nobody to talk to, he not only embraced online gaming, started running tons of games, came up with a new way to run games based on alignment systems, and then created a multi-team crazy game that involved different teams of different alignments interacting with each other in ways that I didn't even know about. This guy, hey Mike, do you know his name?
Michael Moorcock.
Almost. Good guess, actually. Michael Curtis. Thank you, Mike, for your crazy war crawl campaign and just, again, pushing forward DCC in new and exciting ways to express itself.
Thank you to all 15 of the war crawlers, and actually even more, everyone who did the funnel, who could not make the actual war crawl campaign. I could not have done it without you. So thank you for being there every week for 8 weeks for a total of, we had 30 sessions in the course of 2 months. So there you go.
Yeah, it was cool. Thank you to Tim Snyder for always going above and beyond on swag. Like, we always end up with cool shots of some of the swag he's done. Thank you for Tim DeShane for just being really active in the road queue and the larger DCC community and the con scene back when we had a con scene, and just being there as part of the community. Thank you to Kevin the Lich for being a big supporter of X-Crawl and all the support there. I want to thank Dave Beatty for a lot of reasons, but the one I want to single him out for is actually related to cats. I think Dave was probably one of the earliest in the DCC community to deliberately introduce charitable motives into a reason for doing something. And I think this community is really great for the sheer number of people who do things to help other people. But he was the one who, I mean, I feel like 4 or 5 years ago was running his annual raffle to raise money for a local animal shelter. And, you know, that's awesome, man. I mean, I really appreciate just the generous spirit there. And who doesn't want to help cats? So thank you. I really appreciate it. And just keeping that spirit of, you know, philanthropy and community giving alive in the community. I want to recognize Doug Kovacs for being true to his principles and kind of serving as a North Star in many ways for creative principle and conscience. And I think in many ways he serves that role for me and for the community. And he is kind of a North Star in principled action in a lot of ways. Plus he makes cool pictures. So thanks, Doug. And then I want to also recognize one other person here who's present here, but Stefan Pogue, for being part of the transition to online illustration and all the work we've had to do to create VTT elements and rethinking how we think about maps and how do we make them cool and interesting, not just a dark, poorly lit space as illustrated on the computer. But Stefan's VTT maps are bright and colorful and interesting to look at, and I think is a new way to look at tabletop gaming. So thank you, Stefan. So now the actual Goody Awards for community service, so to speak. First, I want to give out 2 silver awards. These are for 2 people who are the co-hosts of a podcast who actually managed to interview the only living member of Appendix N. So Jeff Goad and Hoy, thank you for keeping Appendix N alive with all of us, and specifically for managing to snag an interview with Michael Moorcock, which was amazing. So good job, guys. You'll have silver goodies in the mail. I want to give another gold medal out to somebody who is, I'm going to call this the Pillar of the Community Award. There's 2 of them going out. One of them is for somebody who's, I'm going to give this away instantly. Basically, Jen, it's for you. You're a pillar of the DCC community in so many ways. But, you know, Spellburn, Sanctum Secorin, DCC College, editing all these projects we do, supporting, as Harley just mentioned, his tournament. If it's somehow involved in supporting the DCC community, Jen is there and always a huge help. So thank you, Jen, for all that you do for the DCC community. That deserves a gold medal. There's one other person who I'm going to give a gold medal to as a pillar of the community. And in his case, it's for killing probably millions of 0-level characters. John Marr created software to generate 0 levels. I don't know how many years ago this was, 8, 9, 10 years ago. And I forget the stats, but his site has generated millions and millions and millions of 0-level characters, almost all of whom I'm sure have died. But John did a terrific job of just supporting us with random dice generators and all sorts of software and just constant stuff. And Terry put an homage to him in this year's tournament as well. And John, you deserve it. So thank you for being a pillar of the community and supporting everything that we do. So we're going to obviously mail out gold, silver, and bronze medals to the winners of the tournament. But then for the last piece, I wanted to recognize some of the judges and designers for Greatest Thieves in Lakemar. So that was the tournament that we ran last year at Gen Con, and then ran again an online version of it at DCC Days Online. And every year, Mark Bruner does a terrific job of like crunching all the stats. So we know for every designer how many, who designed what room and how many PCs were killed in their rooms. Traditionally, this is Terry who kills the most, just to say it. And then we also know which judge killed the most people based on, regardless of the writer, like which judge did the most amazing job of who did a great job of killing their players consistently over the course of the entire tournament. So I wanted to give out 2 gold medals for basically, deadliness as a judge and or writer. The first, no surprise, goes to Terry Olson. So Terry, I'm calling this all around deadliness, for lack of a better term. Greatest Thieves, he had the deadliest room. His telekinetic sponge room, 58 characters died. So good job, I guess. Good job, Terry. He had the second deadliest judge rating on a ratio basis. So killed an average of 2.2 PCs as they went through his games. And he was tied for deadliest judge on an absolute basis, which is 42 PCs killed. It's crazy.
I'll sleep so much better tonight. Thank you.
Yes. I also need to say, just as Brendan is no longer eligible for Iron Judge, you're no longer eligible for this award, because I feel like this is like the 3rd time you've won this in 3 years or something like that. So keep on killing them, but you're now emeritus and you can like still come to the party, but you don't get a medal anymore.
Cool. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Now you've like ascended to patronhood. Now you should start like setting up seminars with the future level designers. And
You should start designing tournaments or something, Terry.
Oh, hey, good idea. Good idea.
Yeah. And then second for the deadliest judge award, this is a judge who killed on average, had 2.5 fatalities per PC. So this means this includes like hitting 0, hit points and being revived. But on average, if you ran a party of like 5 PCs through his judge, they all died at least twice on average, 2.5 times. Which is like he just kept killing you. You got revived, you're dead again. You got revived, you're dead again. It's great. So that is Aaron Coleman. So Aaron, thank you for the terrific job killing off our customers. You'll receive a gold medal mailed out to you. Try to keep some customers alive. We got to sell some stuff, but other than that, great job. So guys, that is the Goody Awards. Thank you all for tuning in and listening to this. It's a wonderful community with a lot of great contributors. So thanks everybody. And now we'll start the raffle. So let's talk about how this raffle is going to work. A while back, I mailed out some copies of books to some of the folks in the crew. And so, Chris Doyle got some books that Chris wrote and Harley got some books that Harley wrote and so on. So there you go. They're going to autograph these addressed to the name of each winner. So the idea is that if you win, one of these titles, it'll be autographed, Dear Joe, thanks, kill some characters, love Chris, or whatever it might be. So we're going to dice off for these, or apparently Terry has some fancy way of doing it without dice. And we're going to randomly generate names. If you didn't catch it at the beginning, figure out your badge number. Everybody in tabletop events has a badge number. Actually, Jen, do you want to recap for everybody in case they missed it in the beginning, how to find their badge number?
If you're watching this on Twitch, pop up in a new browser tab. Go to tabletop events. Click on your name or log in if you need to in the upper right-hand corner. When you click on your name, it's going to show you a list of all of the conventions you have registered for. Go over to the side and click on the type of badge that you have for Bride of Cyclops Con. Your badge number will be in very large text at the top of the next page.
So as we go through this, I'm going to have tabletop open and try to pull it up as fast as I can while these guys roll up dice. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. So for those of you who do win, you have until end of day Monday to email info@goodman-games.com and shoot us a note. Tell us, hey, I won on badge number X and here's my address, and we will get your autographed book mailed out to you. So let's start. Really, this is Harley, you're in the upper left. So why don't you start by the way, we had 533 badges. So we're generating a number between 1 and 533 using whatever mechanism is fair and equitable. Harley, you're first.
For Shadow of the Beakman, number 522. 522.
522 is Kenneth Jacobs. Yay.
Congratulations, Kenneth.
All right.
What's your address? Let us know.
Cool. I'm going to write this down before I forget. All right. And next up, let's see, Harley, you also have Sailors on this. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah. This is actually one of my favorite books, so that's awesome. All right. Okay. For the hardcover of Sailors on the Starless Sea, Number 277. 277.
which is Michael McMurray.
Woo!
Yay!
Congratulations, guys.
All right. So we actually have a couple of sets of autograph things of people who aren't here visible on Twitch. So I'm gonna call out some substitutions. Jen Brinkman, do you mind randomly generating some numbers? And we will. This will be for some stuff autographed by Brad Mcdevitt. And so first one will be Cubicles of the Skull, which was one of the special limited edition. There you go, Terry. Tales from the Magician's Skull supplements. And let's see what we get for a badge number here.
I was ill prepared. I apologize.
Oh.
My D20s are like all over the place.
Nobody tell Stefan that I'm calling on him next.
Ooh.
He's like, I gotta get some dice.
Number 17.
Oh, that's early. By the way, we are not eligible. It's like the sweepstakes thing. Yeah, so if it's like one of us, we don't count.
It's not me, okay?
Oh, it's Joan Troyer. I know Joan. Good job, Joan.
Hey, you're welcome, Joan.
All right. And then Stefan, if you could roll, this is for the Cthulhu Alphabet Bronze Foil Edition, the one that Brad Mcdevitt actually did the cover for, and he will autograph it for you.
Okay, so what's the highest number I can have?
533.
Infinity.
Okay. Okay, so it's 163.
What exactly were you rolling, Stefan?
A lot of dice.
Sounds like a fair process. We'll go with 160.
No. For the first dice, I rolled a d6, and then I rolled again because I got a 6.
Okay, that makes sense.
Rolling
All
3
right.
cubes. Hardest thing. Don't try to question it.
Is Pete Doroshenko. Congratulations, Pete. Good job. All right. So then, Chris, I think you have some stuff to give away.
So you want me to do 2 here, 1 for each book?
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so we got a Fae Sisters Fate coming at you live here, and I'm gonna roll on roll 20.
What?
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna do that. That was Terry's suggestion. So here we go. You can roll a die 533.
Wow.
And the roll is 1 second coming online, not recognized.
The D&D guy in the group.
Okay,
guy in
going
the group
to the
doesn't have
more
a 523
standard.
sided die.
It's still broken from our game, Jen.
It is. Okay, so the number, so technology failing us as usual. So our number is 160.
It's like right near the last one we rolled.
It was, yeah. And that was for Fae Sisters Fate.
Oh, there is no badge 160. So if people sign up
What?
and then cancel their badge or whatever, it can, it'll be expunged.
How does that work? Roll again?
Yeah, roll again. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. This time we have 434.
434. Let's plug that in and see what we get.
Plug it in.
And that is Gary Fortuin. So congratulations, Gary.
Hey, Gary.
Congratulations, Gary. And on our next roll, we're going to do for Into the Borderlands, big, thick book. And our number there is 111.
Whoa.
Yahtzee.
111 is George Sedgwick. So congratulations, George. All right. Cool. And then Brendan, I think you have a couple books to give away. Oh, sorry, I mean Cyclops.
The Cyclops is having seeing problems. I believe somebody will be rolling for the part of the Cyclops tonight.
Yes. With no depth perception. Cyclops, what are you giving away?
So, okay, we'll skip ahead to Michael Curtis. Michael Curtis.
Hold on, wait. Cyclops, you have?
Oh, wait, Cyclops, you're back. Cyclops, can you hear us?
Kind of.
Cyclops.
Are you
Cyclops.
muted?
Yes.
Okay, good. So you got to make eye contact, man. I can't tell about eye contact.
You're still muted, Cyclops.
You are remuted. Yeah.
Okay,
There you go.
Cyclops. So you're next. If you could roll 2 sets of dice for your the 2 things you're going to give away, Neon Knights and I think the Apocalypse arc it was.
Would
I
you
shall
like
have
to
my revenge on all creation. 2, 9,
He's rolling cheap. That's it.
0.
You need your bride to come read those for you, don't you?
All right, that's Chris Sabatino. Thank you. Or sorry, congratulations, Chris. Nicely done. Thank you, Cyclops. Let's just torture you a little longer. Can you roll another set for the Apocalypse arc?
This will never be over. 1, 4. I lost it.
A long time ago.
Yes, we know. We know.
4.
144.
What were the first two figures?
144.
Nobody's paying attention to that.
Please be legit. Please leave me a legit number.
144. Peter
I think it was
Martino.
144. I think it was 144.
Yeah, it was. Peter Martino. Congratulations. All right. So now we have a couple that'll be signed by Doug, and he's not present tonight. So maybe, Terry, could you take one of Doug's?
I will roll my D533.
All right. This will be from one of the quick start rules from Free RPG Day that had the gold foil Demon Skull on the front cover.
Nice. 194.
194. Let's see what that is. 194 is Tom Fritchman.
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations, Tom.
Awesome.
And then Mark, if you could take the other one that Doug has. Give me the number.
I've got 383.
383. That is Kurt Rausch. All right, good job, Kurt.
Yay.
So guys, and we said this before, but in case you missed it, shoot us an email at info@goodman-games.com if you're one of the winners, and we will get your stuff in the mail. Let's see, who do I have left? Mike. What you doing there, Cyclops? Checking your eyebrow? Do you pluck your brow?
Every Cyclops has a unibrow. I mean,
I woke up like this.
Is there like one Cyclops out there with two brows and they all make fun of him? He's like the Gene Levy of Cyclops. All right. All right, Mike, you're next.
or a
Oh, there you go.
copy of Glitter Doom #1, the 5th edition fantasy line. We'll see what the dice have to say. We're going to roll again because that's outside of the range.
What are you rolling?
What?
492.
All right, let's look that one up. 492. It's one of the higher results tonight. Sandor Silverman.
Okay, all right. You get a
All right.
copy of Glitter Doom. I can lick it for you if you want. No,
Now he doesn't want it, dude.
and now this this packed mighty thing of DCC Legmore box set, which we guarantee will get there to you. Reasonable
And
time
shrink
period.
wrap.
Even in COVID land, we will still get it to you. All right, yeah. 299.
299. That is Nick McKinnon. Congratulations, Nick. All right, cool. So that is all the official prizes, but I thought I would throw in 2 mystery prizes for sort of 2 final options here.
Can't give away your kids.
How did you know? After the
I'll
What's
take
New
'em both.
seminar, Cyclops will take them.
Send to me.
They come with barbecue sauce.
Leave no trace.
Exactly. And actually, Stefan and Jen, if you guys can each generate one more number, this will be just something, possibly randomly from my office, just something special.
Something from his bookshelf.
Yes, I know.
63.
63, you said?
Yes.
All right, let's look that one up. 63 is Sarah Brown. I know Sarah.
Yay!
What's up, Sarah?
Awesome.
All right. And then-
I'd like to apologize to some of the people in the Twitch chat right now because they're going nuts over us not having any 00 blah. Really sorry. I have a 472.
All right. I feel like we rolled something close to a 472 already.
492.
Okay. Sean Erickson, 472. Sean Erickson. All right, Sean. So get in touch. All you guys, email us info@goodman-james.com. Shoot us your physical address. Oh, good. Yeah, good. The voice in my head said we should call out all the numbers again. Good call,
The
Thorin.
wise one.
That's
Yes. Thorin is actually the one broadcasting this, so he can see and talk to us, but you guys out there can't see him. But he's like conscious, like the little guy sitting on your shoulder telling you. Okay. Okay. He's cracking a lot of jokes. Sorry, you guys can't hear it. Look at what?
There I am in all my glory. I've hacked into the Matrix.
Whoa!
I'm here now.
What's going on? What happened? It's Thorin. Oh no, we've been.
All right. You get a goodie next year. Come on.
If someone will come, if the jailer will come unchain me from my seat, I'd like to go use the bathroom now. Okay.
No, just keep holding it. Almost done.
10 more minutes.
All right.
All right. You obviously had that prepared. Waiting for the opportunity to throw that out.
Well done, sir.
Yes, well done. All right, cool. So I'm going to reread the numbers just in case somebody missed it. The winners of the raffle are badge number 111, George Sedgwick, badge number 277, Michael McMurray. You know, we should just write this down and put it on the website. That would probably be more efficient.
We'll just run through the numbers, skip the names. You know?
Maybe we should contact them. Let them know
Only
they
we
won,
knew-
rather than sit and wait for them to figure out they won and then get back to us.
I mean, it is technically you must be present to win, but you're right. That would be way more efficient. Yes. All right. Billy,
Gather
we-
emails.
Said nothing.
Curtis.
Yes. All right, that's a good idea. Anyway, so if you're logging in now in like the last 2 minutes, we're going to reach out to you and let you know that you won. So even if you weren't present, you can still win as long as you reply to that email. Anyway, I think that's all we have tonight. Did I forget anything, everybody? Is that it?
Huge thanks to Thorin.
Yes, thanks. For those of you who don't know, Thorin manages the Twitch channel and did a lot of back-end stuff to make all this go off without a hitch. So thank you, Thorin. You can use the bathroom almost. You can get up in just a couple minutes. He's been sitting still now for close to 72 hours, something like that. So, good job, Thorin.
Oh, it's a typical con. Okay.
Yes. Cyclops, are you raising your hand? What would you like to say?
Joseph Goodman!
Thank you. Thanks to you guys too. This wouldn't go off. It's not just me, it's everybody. Thanks to all the players. Thanks to all the judges. Thanks for making this a great con. It was a lot of fun. We will do it again. There's actually, you'll see in a week or so, we're going to announce the spawn of Cyclops Con, which is what happened when Cyclops met Bride. They got spawn. Doug has already done the art, which is terrific. We're working out final details on the dates, but it'll be probably late Feb, early March of next year.
Valentine's would be hilarious.
Oh man, that would be
Christmas Eve. Nobody else is doing anything that night.
yeah.
Valentine's actually is great. Oh man.
I kid. I know a
No,
lot of,
it
yeah.
works out with our theme just perfectly. Anyway, you'll get to see the spawn in about a week or so when that announcement goes up. It's a great image by Doug. Thanks to everybody for all your help and support, and just try to make it through 2020. 2021's got to be better. Let's just make it through this year. Thanks everybody. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.